Hey there, ever eaten a giant burrito and then felt like your stomach might be hosting a surprise party you didn't sign up for? If so, you're not alone. That feeling might have led you to the term leaky gut syndrome. Welcome to our chat about what it actually is, why people are talking about it, and how solid the science behind it really is. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll not only understand leaky gut better, you'll also have some practical tips on what to do about your gut health. Let's dive in. What is leaky gut syndrome? So the science term for leaky gut is increased intestinal permeability. Imagine the lining of your gut as a robust security team. Each cell is like a guard, and the spaces between them, the tight junctions, are the gates. Under ideal conditions, these guards stand together, letting through only VIP nutrients and keeping out shady characters like toxins, bad bacteria, and incompletely digested food particles. In leaky gut, these gates become a bit loose. That means more substances can slip through into your bloodstream than you really want. This can trigger inflammation and potentially set off unwelcome reactions in your immune system. The controversy. Diagnosis or symptom? Here's where things get interesting. Doctors agree that intestinal permeability is real and can change. It's a measurable phenomenon. The question is, does leaky gut itself count as an official disease, or is it just a feature of other conditions? Most mainstream medical pros place it in the latter category. You might have leaky gut if you have something like celiac disease, inflammatory bowel disease, or even type 1 diabetes. But is it a standalone, one-size-fits-all diagnosis that explains every weird symptom? That's where the debate rages on. Like two neighbors arguing over whose dog dug up the begonias. Some folks say leaky gut can be the hidden cause of everything from joint pain to brain fog. Others roll their eyes and say, no, there isn't enough evidence for that. If you're curious or suspect your gut might be staging a small rebellion, keep watching. There's more to the story. How much evidence is there? Let's cut to the chase. There is evidence that intestinal permeability is linked to certain diseases. For example, studies show many people with Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or celiac disease have compromised gut barriers. Certain tests, like the lactulose mannitol test, can even detect when your gut lining is leakier than it should be. So, does that automatically mean leaky gut syndrome is a solid official label for you? Not necessarily. While the leaky gut concept is supported in these specific conditions, the research is still uncertain about whether leaky gut causes extra problems, or if it's just a side effect of inflammation or genetics. We need more large-scale human studies before we can point a definitive finger at it. That said, a growing number of scientists think gut health plays a bigger role in everything, from autoimmunity to mental health. The gut microbiome is like a bustling city of microbes, each with its own agenda. If that city's environment changes, if gates are flung open and shut randomly, it can create a chain reaction. So, it's worth keeping an eye on the research, even if the final verdict isn't in yet. Quick crash course in gut barrier function. Meet the enterocyte. These are your gut lining cells, responsible for absorbing nutrients and resisting shady molecules. Tight junctions. These protein complexes hold your cells together like strong Velcro. Zonulin, a molecule that helps regulate those tight junctions. Inflammation. Chronic inflammation can make these junctions loosen, often due to infections, poor diet, or even stress. What can you do about it? If you suspect something's up with your gut, talk to a healthcare provider. Still, there are habits that seem to support a healthy gut barrier. 1. Eat more whole foods. Fiber from fruits, veggies, and whole grains feeds the good guys in your gut, helping produce beneficial compounds like butyrate that keep your gut lining happy. 2. Manage stress. Stress can be like that rowdy cousin who flips tables at your barbecue, destabilizing your gut environment. 3. Stay hydrated. Good old water helps with digestion and overall bodily function. 4. Limit ultra-processed foods. While the occasional treat won't destroy your gut, a steady diet of processed snacks can tip the scales toward a less diverse, less resilient microbiome. 5. Probiotics and prebiotics with caution. Some evidence suggests beneficial bacteria, or the fibers that feed them, may help reduce gut inflammation, but not all probiotics are created equal. Common myths and misinformation. Myth number 1. Everyone has leaky gut and it's the root of all illnesses. Reality. We know intestinal permeability is a thing, but not every sneeze or headache can be pinned on it. Myth number 2. One miracle supplement will instantly seal your gut lining. Reality. In real life, gut health usually needs a more holistic approach, including diet, stress management, and sleep. Myth number 3. You can't do anything about your gut barrier unless you cut out every food you love. Reality. Super restrictive diets might not necessarily fix leaky gut, especially if you lose beneficial nutrients along with the bad stuff. A balanced perspective. You might be thinking, all right, so leaky gut is real, but not every doctor sees it as its own disease. It might be involved in certain conditions and there's no magic fix. Exactly. Welcome to the nuance of medical science. It's not always black and white. Sometimes it's gray as a cloudy day. Or as gray as your best friend's debate about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. That doesn't mean all is lost. Research into the gut microbiome, the immune system, and how they interact is moving fast. Over time, we might see leaky gut recognized as a distinct condition with a standard of care, or it might remain a mechanism that contributes to certain disorders. Final thoughts. So is your gut truly leaky? Possibly. Could it be causing health problems? It could. Especially if you have something like celiac disease or IBD. Is the science on it settled? Not even close. But one thing is sure, supporting a healthy gut by eating more whole foods, staying active, getting enough sleep, and managing stress is never a bad plan. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're now more informed than most about the mysterious world of leaky gut. And while you might not be able to diagnose yourself, or your neighbor, or your dog with leaky gut syndrome, you can pay more attention to what's going on inside you. And maybe share a fact about intestinal permeability at your next gathering. Because who doesn't love a good gut story? Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you found this helpful, stay tuned for more chats on gut health, wellness, and all the weird but wonderful things our bodies do. Until next time, keep those gates guarded, feed those good microbes, and may your gut be ever in your favor.